In today's video, we're going to talk about some of the strategies that I use when I'm delivering for Uber Eats. Welcome everyone, Mark here from Mark's Travel Time. I got my trusty bag, my mask. I've been out and about making deliveries this afternoon. And I thought I'd share with you some of my strategies because I know that everybody has a different approach to delivery and doing what they can to make the most money during delivery. I don't know if these are secrets or hints or just my way of doing it, but hopefully you can pick something up along the way. So the first thing that I notice that when I watch other videos, and I don't watch a lot of them, but every now and then something will catch my eye. And I see in a lot of areas you get a lot of surges and multipliers and bonus quests and all that. I never get any of that in my area. So I have to use other strategies if I'm going to be successful with Uber Eats delivery, make the most money I can, considering that we really can't control most of the environment. So here's some of the things that I like to do. First of all, I generally only use restaurants and accept requests from restaurants that I'm really familiar with. There's a core group of restaurants that I have now come to deliver. And if I stay in that area, I pretty much know the 6 or 7 restaurants that I am going to get business from. And some of them I can get a lot from. For example, there's a Denny's nearby where I live. A lot of orders come from that. There's a couple of restaurants called George Webb in the Milwaukee area. We get a lot of orders from that and so on. The reason I like going to restaurants that I'm really familiar with is I realized at one point when I go to restaurants I'm not familiar with, I sometimes will go past the restaurant. Sometimes there's not a lot of places to park. And there's just a lot of things like that that I don't want to be surprised with. So by picking my core restaurants, and I'm not saying I would never go to other restaurants, but for the most part, by staying within that cluster, I know all those variables. I know how to get there right away. I know the shortcuts. I know if some of them have back alleys or entrances or different places I can go. I know if the parking lot's busy, there's maybe a place I can pull up and put my flashers on. There's just a lot of things like that that I know if I work with restaurants that I'm really familiar with. I know when I get in there, what's their protocol. Each restaurant has their own little quirks, right? Sometimes they put the orders on tables. Sometimes, like Panera, they'll put them up into those little shelves. Sometimes you got to wait until they hand it to you. So whatever it is, when I know the restaurant, I know all the protocol. The next thing that I like to do is I typically don't pay too much attention to the dollar amount of the order. Now, I know you think, oh, Mark, why don't you do that? Because I know most of my money is not going to come from that figure that pops up. Most of my money is probably coming from the tip and volume. Those are the two things. A few weeks ago, I talked, maybe it was a month ago, time flies, but I shared a story with you. I had this order and I didn't look. Usually I do. I didn't look. All I looked at is, oh, here's a restaurant. It's really close. And I got taken because I ended up having to make this delivery a long, long ways off. So typically what I look at, I concentrate on now, and it's worked really well, is just the distance. Okay, the time and the distance, not how much money. I would rather make a little bit less money and knock out a lot more deliveries and probably get a higher tip than to do 1 or 2. And even if it was a little more money, in the big picture, I might end up making less. So I try to only accept deliveries that have a really short delivery time and distance. And hopefully, I know where it is too. And I find that really does happen. If I typically stay with a shorter distance and time, then it stays within a certain part of the community, and I'm familiar with that part of the community. So I found that that is the biggest switch I made that has helped me to make more money. Now, here's what I suspect is a side effect of that. When I'm going a shorter distance, the food gets there more quickly. And when the food gets there more quickly, they're happier. their food is there, the food is still hot, they're probably more likely, more inclined to tip me better. When I have those long rides, even if they know it's going to take longer because, they're ordering from across the state line, okay, it might not be that bad, but it feels like it. Psychologically, they're waiting, and when's that food going to get here? They're waiting a long time, and then they get there. Inevitably, that food is cold. I'm going to address that just a little bit, but the food is cold, and so I'm less inclined to get a tip. So there's so many reasons why having that condensed time and mileage is really, really helpful. I said I was going to address the food being cold, and I forgot to. One of the things I always do besides putting it in that thermal bag is I put it on the passenger seat and I turn the seat heater on. And that really helps to keep that food warm. I know a lot of people put it underneath on the floor and have the floor blower blowing on that. Whatever it takes, try to keep that food warm, especially on days like this. It's a blustery day and that food can get cold in a hurry. The next thing, to the best of my ability, I check the order. Now, I know a lot of times the order is stapled shut or taped shut, but if there's a ticket on there, I like to, it only takes 10 seconds. I like to compare the ticket with the order. I can't tell you how many, well, I shouldn't say that. It's not like it was a lot of times, but occasionally I will catch it. I'll say, hey, isn't there supposed to be a drink with this? Because one time, I'm happy to say it only happened once, I did get to the place to deliver the food at the guy's house. He said, well, where's my drink? I don't know. There wasn't anything I could do about it. I felt stupid. He realized it wasn't my fault. I said, I'm sorry. He knew he could call Uber and get his money back, but he wanted his milkshake or whatever it was. So as much as I hate delivering beverages, I make sure to the best of my ability that order's right because I don't want to get it screwed up. And some businesses are pretty sloppy about it. Throw it, okay, here's your Uber order. Well, wait a minute. Is this for Bartholomew? Is this the 2 cheeseburgers? You check it all. I found that's very helpful. Every now and then I'll find a mistake. And again, the less issues and problems you have, the fewer issues and problems you have, the more likely you are to make money and get tips. So my strategy, in essence, is get as many deliveries as I can in a short period of time. Keep that customer as happy as they possibly can be. Occasionally, I will take the double up orders, where I take one, then I go to the next restaurant and take another. I try not to do that very often because Uber, they're screwy. Uber will do weird things. Oftentimes, I'll pick up the first order. I'll go to the next restaurant. I'm waiting a little bit, I get that order. Then, because of the distance thing, it'll have me deliver the first order. Then I go to the second. So the second guy was the first one I picked up, and he's the last one to get delivered. He's waiting the longest period of time. It just isn't good for customer satisfaction. It's really, up to each individual driver if they want to do that. The times if those restaurants, are, in many cases, are literally a block away, I might try it. But I try not to do it very often. Now, the other benefit I didn't mention to knowing the restaurant, I once went to a Wendy's, and this triggered a thought because one time I had a double up, it was a Wendy's. I got there and I went to the door, all the doors were locked. And it said in the app, go inside and pick up the food. All the doors are locked. So now I have to go back in my car and then go through the drive-through. Well, if I would have went through the drive-through right away, it would have saved me a lot of time instead of getting on my car, trying 4 doors. Because, in this day of COVID, sometimes they only have one door open, right? So I'm running around the building to the other side. That door is locked. I go to the other, that door is locked. So finally, and a DoorDash person, I was delivering for Eats, a DoorDash driver was coming up, and I just looked at her. I said, all these doors are locked, and you might as well go back to your car. Because she was going to do the same thing. So I don't know if in this case, it was probably the restaurant's fault. They were probably given instructions to come inside and then they locked their doors up. But if I'm familiar with the restaurants, that stuff's not going to happen. And it would have been so much easier and so much slicker for me to just know when I pulled up, go right to the drive-thru, I'm on my way. If you're not familiar with the restaurant, you don't know that type of thing. So that's it. I know these were not earth-shattering, groundbreaking strategies and hints, but it's a lot of those little things that add up to making a little more money and having smooth deliveries and smooth pickups and keeping the customer happy. By the way, always read the delivery instructions really, really closely. Sometimes they'll give really good instructions. I remember one guy said to me, enter the door, buy the dumpster, go into the building, turn left, go down the stairs, and my apartment has a table next to it, and put the food on the table. I'll tell you, that was such an easy delivery because I paid attention. I followed what he told me to do. I was in and out of that building in 30 seconds. Sometimes I'm waiting 2 minutes just trying to contact the person. Hey, where do I go? Yeah, I hate apartments. So that's it. I hope that you get a little something from that. If not, share your strategies down below. I think that's how we all learn, and I'm always looking for new ideas as well. Please like and share the videos. As I said, comment down below. If you haven't already, please click my face in the corner to subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell icon. That way you'll know when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Mark, and this is Mark's Travel Time, and I'm going to turn my app back on and make some happy dollars. Bye-bye.